Hey guys, welcome to today's. I guess let's start calling it Jafo Paints Massive Darkness because that's about all I seem to be painting. If you want to see me paint something else, put it in the comments down below. You've seen some of my unboxings, plenty of those videos. I would like to probably get around to adding paint to those models, but I'm, working on it right there. As you can see, as I'm moving all over the place here and making y'all nauseous, we are working on a greater roaming monster, and we are working on Lord Tusk. So we'll take a look at this bad boy, or fat boy, however you want to call it. This is a very large man. And let's go over, like we do always, all of our starting paints. And as always, I should just put the disclaimer. Maybe I'll start learning to put a disclaimer in my videos. It says paints subject to change, so please don't, believe me that this is the be-all, end-all. So let's go through with our base coat colors. Look at that. I got lots of them. Alright, so these are all the basing colors that we're looking at. We are looking at Zandri Dust, Bugman's Glow. We also are looking at Lead Belcher and Rhinox Hide, XV88 Nebadan Black, Mephiston Red, and Steel Legion Drab. And our ever-popular gold, in fact, the only gold you should ever have in your arsenal, is Retributor Armor. Well, actually, you should probably have more, but that's like one of the main ones you should have. We have Ushabti Bone. When we layer up, oh, I forgot, if we're using those two bone colors, it means we're going to have Agrax Earthshade in there. We have Cadian Flesh Tone for our second Flesh Tone color. There's possibly going to be some, I don't know, shenanigans going on. Doing a mix of Caraburg Crimson with Lamium Medium, so we can thin out that shade. So Lamium Medium is this stuff here is unpigmented paint, essentially. There's absolutely no paint in this, or no pigment to this. It's just the medium that Citadel uses to make their paint flow. We also have Eshin Gray. So what that'll do is it's a good way to thin down your paints and make it flow better without, or while diluting a little bit of the color. Here is some Nuln Oil. We'll use that on a majority of it. And you guys, I don't think you guys have seen this one yet. This is Citadel Technical Paint, Blood for the Blood God. It is a syrupy consistency. I mean, look at that. Just opening it, it looks like I have an oozy, bloody wound thing. I do have a sample my assistant has just handed me because she's so proud of her, I don't know, grossness. So I apologize if anybody retches when watching this. It is not a dude in... Well, it's alright. It's a flesh bag marine with blood all over him. But what you're looking for and what we're trying to show off is the blood run here. We're going to use that at the very end to add the blood effects to his swords, because I think that'll just be creepy and disturbing, and it kind of gives him that Silent Hill look.
You used it on Whisper.
It could be. It'll give him that Silent Hill look, and I think anybody walking around with giant-ass swords like this scare the living crap out of me. If I see it all bloody and crap instead of it shining like, the heroes always are. So the first one we're going to start with, since we're going to always start with our largest spot of to play with, we're going to start with our Bugman's Glow, which means that we're working on flesh first. What you hear me doing is washing my brushes off as I have all paint on them. This is one of those times where you're going to be using, because of how big he is, you can use your small layer brush or our medium basing brush. I will be using the medium base brush to start with. Apparently I got paint on him already just from, like, the air, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, we're just going to paint the whole back and body all in Bugman's Glow. And then we're going to try some shade shenanigans in a little while with some thinned down Caraburg Crimson, and give his skin a little bit of a red hue to it. So yeah, that's what we got. I will start cleaning that up. I will be right back. Again, you're going to want to be switching between your two brushes so that you can just kind of control where it needs to be, clean. So I'll be right back. And there we go. We now have Bugman's Flesh applied, or Bugman's Glow. Ugh, Bugman's Flesh. No wonder why nobody likes that color. Bugman's Glow paint applied to him. So we're going to try a little bit of, let's call it semi-movie magic. I don't know. We're going to take our Lamia Medium, and I just figured I'd show you guys what we're looking for here. Try to get a cleaner palette than mine, but as you guys can see, I use mine a lot. So we're going to take our Lamia Medium, and we're going to take our Caribird Crimson. So we're going to make a 2-to-1 ratio. So we're going to get our medium ready, shake it up, and pop it open. Thought I'd show you guys actually this step. Normally I always do my prepping beforehand so that you guys don't have to worry about it. But we're going to take 2 good dollops of Lamia Medium, get that on our palette first. That way we don't corrupt our Lamia Medium with Caribird Crimson. It's okay if we put a little bit of medium into the crimson, but not the other way around. Then we're going to take 1 brush full and we'll mix that through, and kind of gives it that, you can tell already, it's giving it that just sickly look. I think this guy's going to look freaking gross, and we'll see. So we're going to take those, we're going to take our dude, and we'll just start applying. And this is going to give him kind of that bruised flesh look. Just like he's had too many muscles, and or I guess you can never have too many muscles, but he strains his muscles too much, lifting that giant ass sword. So we'll just go through and I'll cover all of that up. I'll be right back to show you what that looks like when we're done. There we go. We now have him shaded, and that gives him just that real reddish hue to his skin. I kind of like it. It's for being something new for me. This is definitely a mix that I will be adding to my personal repertoire, as it were, and I hope you guys like it enough that it'll add to your painting palette as well. So the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to do black, and that is going to be his headdress, probably his boots, definitely his shirt thingy. You guys really got to help me out with this and help me come up with an appropriate name. But here we go. We're going to paint that there, and I think we're going to do that one there. So I'll clean those up, and I will be right back to show you what they look like. And there we go. We now have all of the black applied. Where you see gray still in those black, I am going to be using our XV88 and making some leather straps for him. The next one we're going to do, let's stick with, we're going to switch over to the inks, Nuln Oil, and we're going to ink all of that black. So I'll do that, and I'll be right back. There we go. We now have the black covered in Nuln Oil, which is just going to help get, just a little bit of black into the recesses, where spots you may have missed as you went over the first time. Let's get to that next big detail, which of course is going to involve Lead Belcher. Got that already on our palette, ready to go, and that is a very obvious spot of we're going to put it on the axis sword thingies. His big old blades. Big old blades are going to get covered. Make sure that you don't put your Nuln Oil too far away, because we're going to do some deepening and darkening of this. As you can see, all those nice little nooks and crannies in there, we're going to make them pop. Be right back. Alright, there we go. We now have the first step of our blades as I drop him on the ground. A little bit of streaking there, that's okay. We're now going to take our Nuln Oil. We're going to ink those. And then we're going to move on to the handle, which we're going to use Rhinox Hide for. So I've got that on my palette. I'm going to ink these guys, then I'm going to do the handle. And I really just want to do, all the way up to his hand. And all the way up to his hand. Here you can kind of see there's a little bit more handle showing, and there's a little bit of handle showing in his hand. Leave the connector piece from the handle to the blade itself because we're going to paint that in a gold. So I'm going to get all those done and I will show you what that looks like shortly. Alright, there we go. We have our blades inked. We have our handles done up in that wood brown color of Rhinox hide. As I just touch up the little spots here and there. The next thing that we're going to do, we're going to go back to our Nuln Oil. As you can see that I've got my pot open. This time, we're going to apply it just on the flats of the blades. So like this, and then just kind of pull it across. We're trying to darken up this blade very, very, very much. Sorry, it's early in the morning when I'm filming this. This is the 4th project in a row that I've done. My brain's not thinking right cleanly. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to dark this up. And then as soon as your brown, your Rhinox hide is dry, you're going to want to go over that with Nuln Oil as well. So we're going to do the same thing here. We'll pull this, put a big dollop on there, and we'll pull it over. So get rid of that. So we'll do that. And then of course we'll flip it over and we'll do the same thing there. We're looking to have a really heavy shadow. And then we're going to put some iron breaker on there, I think. I don't think we have it pulled out, but we'll put some iron breaker on the cutting edge of the blade to give it that nice evil sheen that would be on there. You know, so you don't see the whole blade coming down the hallway, but you see this light glint coming, and that should be enough that would scare the crap out of any good adventurer. When you see this big old dude crawling, I mean, this is pretty much like the Massive Darkness version of Pyramid Head from Silent Hill, if any of you guys are fans of that. I don't really know the game or the world, but I've seen the pictures and the memes and all that, and yeah, the dude looks like if I saw that coming down the hallway, I'd probably turn tail and run. I don't care what kind of a hero I am. Except maybe if I'm Bjorn. Bjorn, I'd probably run at people, because that's Bjorn. So
Mila probably would too.
So that's what we got. I'm going to quick do this. I will clean this all up and I will show you what it looks like in a second. Alright, there we go. We've got that inked. We've got this slowly drying. I'm just going to kind of pull that around a little bit while it's drying. So that's going to give a real deep shade. So when that's dry, that'll give it a really nice look to it. I got 4 colors already up on my palette here. We've got Mephiston Red and Steel Legion Drab. We've got Xandri Dust and Everland Sunset. So I'm going to do a bunch of colors all at once here. Mephiston Red is a real small one. And we're just going to use that to do the inside of his mouth. That's it. We're done. Done with that one. Xandri Dust. We're going to use right here, or not Xandri Dust, Everland Sunset. It's a yellow. It's a sunset yellow, really. We're going to use that on this front armor plating, which we'll cover over again with our favorite color this week, Nuln Oil. So, and yellow is a rough color to do, guys. If you're not using a dark shadow or a dark if you're using a dark base tone like black, it will take multiple coats to cover up. So there we go. I'm going to just do that there. And that just kind of gives him a little bit of difference as far as coloring. The next one that I got for you is Steel Legion Drab. And that we're going to put down here into the bear pelt that he's wearing, or the fur that I guess helps keep his nether regions warm, or warmer. And we'll just kind of treat this almost like hair. So we're going to do that one up. And then the last one that I've got on my palette is our XV88. I do have XV88. I don't know why it's not over here. And I have Xandri Dust as well, so we got a couple of things we're going to go through. I got 5 colors, but they're all kind of real quick colors here, so I didn't figure I needed to make multiple cuts for you guys. Figured you could all just follow along. So we're already done with Steel Legion Drab. The next one we got for you is Xandri Dust. We're going to use that on his gross teeth. So I just want to cover all of this up in it. And that's pretty much that there. But the other big spot for you is going to be these bones on his wrist. So we're going to paint up. And I just clean my brush every once in a while to keep a finer point. You want to keep a nice point on your brush when you're doing this. So we got the bone there. And that's, I mean, really all it's going to be. We're going to ink the bone in Agrax Earthshade. But most of this is going to just keep getting our love of the black ink today. We are going to just keep using black ink and black ink and black ink. Oh, and he's got a gold ring there, which will hit in gold. And then the last color I've got for you, and I've got a lot of it on my palette, is our XV88, which is what we use for leather here. And it's just leather strappings. So we got leather strappings just all over the model. So that I am going to make my cut right there for you guys. I will clean that all up. I will show you what it looks like in a second. Be right back. All right, there we go. We are getting really close to our first round of painting being done, and this guy looks amazing. Honestly, I, as having played through the game, and if you guys have seen my playthroughs, when Melina and I go through and we play and this guy gets drawn, we always kind of run the other direction. And now that he's all painted up, we totally are going to run the other direction. So the last color that I got going on this morning is going to be some Retributor armor. And you can kind of guess where that's going to go, guys. That's the remaining 5, 6 gray spots we have on here. We're going to use this as our what's holding it on. Metal, I don't know, the blade connector point. I guess it's not really the hilt, I guess. I don't know what that is.
But it technically would be at the same time.
Yeah, it's something. So we're going to do that one as I throw them on the ground. We're going to do that one. We're going to do these 3 armor plates on his big old belly. I'll be right back and show you what that looks like. All right, there we go. We have a fully base coated, and that was just a crappy turn. So let's see if we can do this without inking or pulling off too many more of the paint because of my greasy fingers today. There is what we've done with him. As you guys can see, we golded his belly. We golded the hilt pieces. I also put gold in this little ring over here. I did go back because I realized I forgot the leather wrappings on the handles. And I forgot the front side of this handle. So there we go. We got that there. We're going to put a Agrax wash on his teeth as I just throw paints on the ground. We're going to put a Agrax Earthshade wash on his teeth, which will just help define them a little bit better and dirty them up because they're gross, and he's a gross guy, and we want him to look gross. Emphasis on gross many times over. I actually don't see a need for the Ushabti bone today, so we're not going to use it. So then we got the highlighting stage. We are going to highlight Iron Breaker, Cadian Flesh Tone, and Eshin Gray, so that you see what we're doing. The first one I'm going to do, and I'll quick prep it on my palette while we're talking, is we're going to do Iron Breaker, which is a nice, a brighter version of the silver that we're using. Clean off my brush so I don't have too much paint on it. get a good point. We're going to grab some iron breaker, and we're just going to take the cut side of the blade. You want to go up most of the way. And that's just going to give it that, you know, bright look to it. And I honestly think from the role-playing standard, your players are just going to wet themselves when they see this. You see that glint of metal coming down your field. Look at that. Look at that on camera. That looks amazing. So we're going to switch over here. We're going to do this one. We're going to put that over here. Again, that's got that real wicked sheen to it. It just looks amazing, at least in my eyes. I don't know, hopefully you guys are enjoying that as well, and that's an idea that you guys are going to use yourselves. So we're going to just keep on going with this. Once that one's done, we're going to switch over to Cadian Flesh Tone, and that's going to be our biggest highlight that we're going to do. So I will prep that on our palette, and I will do all of that. Show you what that looks like in a second. So there we go. We have that done there. And there you go. I mean, just look at that. Even just the little bit of lights you see here, that to me just looks epic. So the next one we're going to do, Cadian Flesh Tone. Mix up your paint. Make sure it's real nice and mixed up real well. Get yourself a good dollop of paint on your palette. And then you're just going to want to, it's the same as we've highlighted before. If you've been following our series of painting tutorials here, you're wanting to do the upper parts of the musculature, anywhere that it goes into the recesses, you just want to let it go. Leave that shade and that ink that we made in there. And that'll give that good definition to your character. So I'm going to go around, do all of that, and I'll be right back and show you what it looks like. There we go. We now have Lord Tusk done. I think that is where I'm going to stop him. All that's left to do is paint up his base, which we'll do in the Dawnstone. Oh, wait. I look in my palette and I see one other color. We're going to do this one for you because I want you guys to see this. The disgusting look of Blood for the Blood God. Let that drip. And I mean, I've used this for a couple of my other miniatures, and it even has that consistency of you're playing in blood. So, like you're painting in like somebody's blood. It's that thick corn syrupy. Like you wanted something for a good, blood substitute. Here you go. I'm just kind of paint it on about like that. Like you wanted to make a movie, this would be stuff to paint your stuff in. Or to doctor up your victims in. Is like, who needs corn syrup? Just get Blood for the Blood God technical paint. It's probably a little pricey to be doing a whole movie in, but hey. Alright guys. That is our Lord Tusk. Bring this down here a little bit so you guys can see it. Only thing you're not going to see is the finished base, which I got to wait now for that Blood for the Blood God to get cleaned up on the edge of the base there. And that's it. This has been another Jafo Paints video. If you like this video, please hit the like button down below. If you're still not a follower, consider subscribing to my channel. I do painting videos every Monday. If you don't have the time to paint your own stuff, please check out the link down below for my commission painting service at Warhammer Panda Painting. And I'll catch you on the next video. See you guys.